night for mystery and horror. The air itself is filled with monsters.
Children of the night, what music they make.
He's alive! He's alive!
Well, hello, all you monster fiends, and thank you for joining us for another deep dive, factoid-filled episode exploring Hollywood's most famous monsters. I am your mistress of ceremonies, Sam, and I am joined, as always, by Dan from Bleeding Marvelous. Say hello, Dan.
Hello, Dan. I'm on my best behaviour today because there's somebody else here.
Yeah, we're not alone. We are with somebody today. We are with actor, stuntman, and former professional basketball player, the man of many faces. Monsters of North likes to welcome Mr. Ian Whyte. Hey, he's here. Hi, Ian.
Hello, lovely to see you again.
And you. Well, we have a plethora of questions that we want to ask you. Where do we even start, Dan?
That's a good question. Okay, I'm going to start it as close to the beginning as I can get. So, what was it like stepping into the shoes of an icon such as Jean-Claude Van Damme?
He was the original Predator.
Yes, he was. Yeah. And do you
Yes.
think you would have been able to pull off the martial arts maneuvers when you took over?
There's a lot of questions in there. Well, as everybody knows, the very, very, very first Predator was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes.
The little insectoid
It's so weird.
creature who sort of crawled through the jungle and was cancelled on the first day of filming. That wasn't his fault, so I'm told. The director went to Stan Winston and said, "Listen, can you basically give me a creature that can kick the arse out of Arnold Schwarzenegger?" And a month later, the Predator that we know and love was spawned. In between that, they didn't really know if they were shooting a movie about commandos in the jungle or whether they had the story that they wanted. So it wasn't really I mean, it wasn't a case of stepping into the shoes of Jean-Claude Van Damme because it wasn't actually
They weren't his
Predator. I'm
shoes.
sure he won't mind me saying that.
Have you met him?
No.
Ah, darn it. What challenges did you face when you were playing the Predator? Well, if any. Yeah, with like the makeup and the heavy armor and the movement, because you move around quite a bit.
I do move around quite a bit. The character does move around quite a bit. It is defined more or less by its physicality.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of action, a lot of fights, a lot of the only thing I was really concerned about was delivering a performance that the director would believe.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go, I was very aware of the weight of responsibility upon my shoulders. This was 10 years since the last Predator movie, Predator 2, Kevin Peter Hall, and it hadn't been seen on screen since then. So it was a huge weight of responsibility.
Oh, massive.
And I was very, very keen to not only be good, but to be worthy.
No pressure on yourself.
No, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were very worthy. I'd only watched it last year before we had you on Nerdy Up North, even though one of our very early episodes that we did for Monsters was an episode on the Predator, and I was meant to have watched it then, and I didn't. So I thought I will watch, and it was, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so much fun, and you were I think the Predators are so breathtaking to look at. So the makeup on it was just phenomenal. Loved it.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say so. You know, the franchise is one of those franchises that sort of finds a new audience, you know, every single year. A lot of people, you know, and it was given a 12 rating because it wanted to find a new audience.
Question then, what, now you've been in the Predator and the Alien franchise, as in Prometheus, because you were the first engineer.
The last engineer.
With that one.
I wasn't the first engineer. You know, people keep making that mistake.
An
The first
engineer nonetheless.
dies and seeds his life to the planet.
You were an engineer then. Okay.
Yes.
Do you see yourself claiming the hat trick like Lance and Bill by going into Terminator? Is that something you would like to become the third person to feature in all three of the biggest franchises?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It's a
Lance,
thing.
obviously, you met Lance, or did you meet Lance? I would presume you met Lance.
Yeah, of course, I met Lance. Yeah, our paths have crossed many, many times. He's a lovely, lovely guy. You know what? Now that you say, you know, it's not one of those things that you like keep in the front of your head. Hey, you know what? I've really got to hit that. Really got to hit that win. I don't know. It's not to somebody else. I don't think that's ever going to happen, to be really honest.
I think that would. I mean, it's one of those things where you see Lance. You know, Lance has obviously been in Alien, Bishop, and then obviously Wayland, and then he's been in Predator, and he's been in the Terminator films. Same with Bill; he's been in all three. And you're just that one step away from Terminator now that would put you up.
Yeah, I could totally see you as a Terminator mind.
No, I can't see me as a Terminator at all. I could see me as Lance Henriksen, a character that would be played by Lance Henriksen in the Terminator, like a grumpy policeman.
I couldn't imagine you being playing grumpy. I really couldn't. But I could imagine you as a Terminator. You'd be terrifying.
Okay, the taller guy can only play the Terminator.
No, let's be fair. Arnold Schwarzenegger's not as tall as people think he is. He's 5'10", so he's your height, Sammy.
What?
Yeah. I went through my entire life thinking he was 6 something, and then I found out he was 5'10", and I was like,
he's tiny.
Don't tell everybody I'm tiny, okay?
That's the problem I have. Because I am so small, I presume everybody is of 6 foot and above in movie making. And it's not until you start doing conventions, because our paths haven't crossed, Ian, but I've been at many, many shows that you've been at, but I've been working as a trader with my business at the show, so I've not been able to come across. And it's one of those things where you get to meet these people in real life and you get to see them, and you realize that actually it's a very small world. Like, everybody's a lot shorter than you think they are, which is it's a strange phenomenon for someone like me. So I can't imagine what it must be for someone as tall as you to work with so many small people.
As a famous photograph of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's flanked by a very famous basketball player called Wilt Chamberlain and Andre the Giant on the other side, and they're both 7 feet tall, and Arnold looks not 7 feet tall. Shall we say?
I don't think he's going to listen.
And my first thought, whenever I see, because it pops up on social media all the time, and my first thought when I see this photograph is like, the camera just works magic.
It really does. So when you approach a part that you get, do you spend a lot of time discovering the physicality of the character, or do you wait to start going through the process of the body casts, the putting the costume actually on, feeling what makes sense when you get on set? How much of that is pre-planned? Because obviously you have limited vision for most part, so you must have to choreograph prior to filming scenes and things like that for some of the more difficult makeup and costumes. Yeah,
my approach to a character, these non-human characters, is very much the same as my approach to a human character. It comes from the inside. It comes from in here. I try and humanize these aliens, monsters, creatures, demons, beasts, whatever. You know, they're all heroes in their own story. You know, they've all got their own lived experience. So you got to find that. You know, you can't go to a coffee shop down the road and watch predators going about their daily lives, having a cup of coffee, getting on the bus, doing the shopping, you know, doing the school run, etc., etc. So you've got to make it up. So you've got to find out what they are on the surface first. Use the predator as an example. The one that I played, he was a warrior. Okay, so that's on the surface. He's a warrior. Now I'm going backwards, and I'm trying to find out why, and how. What did he have to go through? What is their culture? Is he ripped from his parents at an early age, or is this voluntary? How does he get into this? Then once he's got into it, is it, you know, think of I've done martial arts training, etc., etc. I was a basketball player for you know, a long time. You know, I know the discipline of commitment. What is that commitment? What is that discipline? What is the everyday pain and suffering that he has to go through in order to be that level of intergalactic killing machine? And that's just an example of how I approach a character. You know, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you get flashes of inspiration when you once you've got the costume on, once you're in front of the camera, then you can start playing with it for real.
Yeah.
Because then it means something.
Yeah.
But up to that point, it's you and your imagination and maybe a pen and paper.
You get a lot of points from the director, like this is what before, you know, like before you go through the costuming or anything like that. Do you get a lot of points saying this is the base history we have for this character, and they let you kind of expand on that and go from there, or is it very strict, like you must stick to this? Or
well, sometimes you don't meet the director until the first day of filming. So no, but you have the script and you have the written word, so that becomes your gospel. If we're still talking about the Predator, then I had the previous work, and I went through that frame by frame, trying to extrapolate little details, little nuances of stuff that I could use in a physical form. But it was still a different character that I was playing, a different internal kind of framework that I had to invent.
I would say Scar was very empathetic compared to the previous Predators, because he found his way and he adapted to the situation, and he befriended the human and gave her the respect because she did what he was there to do, which was to obviously protect, keep the alien queen done and kill the aliens, and that was Scar's kind of job, to look after that situation, I presume, because it's been, you know, it's open to interpretation. Some people say he was an unblooded going there to get his thing, is, you know, graduate, I don't know what you want to call that, but then other people have said it was literally his job was to keep the queen down there, and the fact that it had been invaded, he was going to make sure that no one let her out. But he was very empathetic towards humans, which is the first time you kind of see that, which you bought. And I've noticed that seems to have followed through, weaved through all the other ones, like the Predator, Prey. I'm not sure what Badlands is going to do, but it seems to be something that has become a common theme. And would you say that was your choice? And not being like big-headed about it at all. I just was curious if that was a choice that you made moving forward with it.
No, it was, like I said, it was driven by the script. You know, the script is the gospel. Yeah, Scar was kind of sympathetic. You know, they had he had to. He was forced into a position where he had to develop this partnership with the human, the only one there who was worthy, that he thought worthy. I mean, he killed Wayland, and he'd already figured out that he was dying anyway.
That's the thing. Wayland was weak though, wasn't he? Because he was dying. So yeah, I mean, it's just one of those many questions. There's so many people that have so many theories on the whole Predator universe, especially with the backlash from the Badlands teaser trailer that's come out, and the fact that people are really struggling with the new design of this Predator. I mean, we had the same when the Prey Predator came out as well, how everybody didn't like the way that one looked because they're so stuck in the vein of the traditional Predator costume, like the look. I don't know where this one's going. Do you have any hopes for it?
No, I'll watch it, and either I'll enjoy it or I won't. I mean, that's the whole point. It was created for the enjoyment of the audience. The audience will enjoy it, or they won't enjoy it.
That's fair enough.
And there will be some that do both. You know, my advice is to just watch it and formulate your own opinion. But don't try and formulate an opinion of something you haven't seen.
That's what we always try and say. We've recently watched Werewolves as well.
Yes.
Wow, them werewolves are beastie mind. Like, wow. What was it like? Like, I when I was watching. Oh, also, are you Lou Diamond Phillips's werewolf? I can't.
No, I don't think I am.
Oh man,
it was such a long time ago. No, I don't think I am.
As I said, there was three. There were three of you guys, but many times there was like 5 or 6 on the screen, so I wasn't sure if they.
Yeah, we couldn't figure it out. I was like, because it says you're the lead, and when you look at the credits, you're lead werewolf.
Yes, well, there was myself, Ian Foyer, and Dane DeLegro. Yeah, and Dane DeLegro, obviously, watchers, listeners will know the name Dane DeLegro for being the new Predator. Mm-hmm. I think he I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's in Werewolves for the same reason that Ian Foyer was in Alien vs. Predator Requiem. And Ian Foyer, who I love dearly, came into Alien vs. Predator Requiem because it wasn't possible for me to get to LA to shoot the extra footage that was required at the time. And I don't know for certain, but I think that's why Dane DeLegro was brought in. He wasn't on principal photography with Ian Foyer and I in Puerto Rico. Right. So we didn't actually work together. But let me go back to the beginning. Werewolves. I mean, yes. What a concept. I mean, it was straight out of lockdown.
Oh, okay? Right.
Hadn't worked in almost 2 years. The world has been on the verge of collapse. Mm-hmm. And I get this incredible email from Alec Gillis. And he says, this is a long shot, but do you want to come to Puerto Rico and shoot a werewolf movie with Frank Grillo? Let me think about that for a minute. Do you want me to make the tea as well?
That's fair. Yep.
A week later, I was on the plane to LA to be fitted for the costume. Of course, there are many, many werewolves in this movie.
Yeah.
It was filmed in Puerto Rico, in the tropics of the Caribbean.
Oh my God.
You can imagine filming a creature movie with such an amount of action, this amount of action, in the Caribbean. It was unbelievably difficult.
Yeah, now that you've said that, it doesn't look it when you are watching it. Whatever struggles you went through, it's not on the picture, because it's sort of the fluent movement of these werewolves was just phenomenal.
It was so much fun. The director, I mean, it had Nightmare written all over it. creature movie in the Caribbean, a limited budget, quite a short shoot. We have to cram in so much action to such a short period of time. And yet the director was incredible. He just kept everybody moving forward in the right direction, motivated. And it was brilliant. And Frank Grillo just drives it. He's incredible. Hey, you want to watch the producer, a guy called Miles Nestel, who's a British producer living in Los Angeles. He produced another movie with Frank Grillo. It is or was on Netflix. It's called Wheelman.
Right.
It is brilliant.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where you were quite going with that.
It comes in at a whopping 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's mercifully short.
That is short for a nowadays movie.
Incredible cinematography. It's a great story. It's like a criminal drama. And Frank Grillo is fantastic, and it is absolutely brilliant.
Oh,
so go and watch that if you can.
I will, because I've got a lot of time for Frank Grillo at the moment.
Yes.
I mean, I loved him. He's fantastic. I loved him in Winter Soldier as Crossbones. He suited that part just brilliantly. But recently, he's now working with James Gunn, and he's done Creature Commandos. He did the voice of Rick Flag Senior. He's now going on to play him in James Gunn's. Is it Peacemaker or Superman? He's going to play that same character in real life as well. So it's like everything's coming up Frank Grillo at the moment. I'm so pleased to everyone gets to see how magnificent he is, because he is just fantastic. And I didn't realize the director of Werewolves was the guy who did Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Sure.
Did not know. Sure. Stephen C. Miller.
I knew it was an S.
Yeah. Also, he's in. Oh my God, Danny's in talks to do the remake of Motel Hell.
There doesn't need to be a remake. Motel Hell was fine as it is.
Have you seen it, Ian?
I have not.
Oh my God, you need to watch it. It is an absolute 80s. Oh, how do I describe it, Dan?
Ridiculous nonsense fest.
Yes.
But still worth every pound.
Every second.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
It's 80s horror craziness, and we did it last year, and it was my introduction to it, and it is just, it's batshit crazy. Really is. It's fantastic. I loved it. Oh gosh, yeah. Werewolves was a surprise. Because I've fallen in love with werewolves since we started doing this this podcast. I never had an opinion on them until we did The Wolfman, and my love affair of werewolves has kind of grown from there. And then we had Neil on, and we talked about Dog Soldiers, and his werewolves are. I even said to him, "Why did you make your werewolves so cute? Like, they were adorable." These werewolves are not that. These are going to rip your face off. They are going to rip your insides out and pull your spine out with it. The makeup on it looks absolutely phenomenal. What was the process like to get into it?
Was never a makeup as such. The creature effects were designed by Alec Gillis. My dear friend, who I've worked with on many occasions, and working on his own this time. And it was just absolutely fantastic, and one of those films that although it was such spectacular hard work, I am thoroughly proud of.
Oh, you should be, because the werewolves in it, they're absolutely fantastic. The story itself, I could not stop laughing when Frank Grillo's just chucking the cages down, the traps, just on the grass, like it's just a nonchalant thing to do. Let's just chuck some bear traps down on the grass outside. I was like, okay, that's not weird at all.
My favourite was the biker wolf, because he had the biker vest.
Oh my God, and
he had all the ear piercings. And may I add, I don't know how this happened. I'm just going to put it down to good old movie magic. But his ear piercings got bigger as he became a wolf. He didn't have the human ear piercings he had, and then he got bigger and they popped off. No, the earrings turned into massive, great big. So I was just like, I appreciate the kind of level of comedy that came with, and I felt like it was kind of swept away too quickly. I think there was a couple of occasions where the wolf adopted the clothes and the clothes got bigger with the wolf. You know, we're talking Incredible Hulk trousers sort of situation.
It was kind of agreed that the main werewolf characters would have their own personalities, and a great many of them would really enjoy it.
Yeah.
What attracted me to werewolves right at the beginning was, first of all, it was a really, really great script. But I thought, this is a werewolf movie with a really important moral question at its heart.
Mm.
And to me, that question was, give yourself 24 hours. Well, not even 24 hours. It's a night, isn't it? It's
a night. It's just one night.
It's moon up to moon down.
Yeah.
And if you could have that power, knowing full well what you would become and what you would get up to, would you take it?
Oh.
And I thought that was a very, very important moral question, because there are people in the movie who hide from that, who don't want that power, and there are people at the other end of the spectrum who can't wait for that.
Oh, do you know? I think I would. I'm very much like jump to the power kind of person. So, yeah, I definitely think I would.
Yeah.
I'd get if I got changed, someone would shoot me, or I'll be that one that got stuck in the bear trap. And
well, that's it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to survive, because I'm not a survivalist. Like, if the zombie apocalypse happens tomorrow, I'm gone within the first few hours, and it'll be by my own doing. I'm the one who's going to cause it.
I'm not a runner.
Even if it, no, me neither. Even if it was just for a minute, though, just to like feel what that like strength is like to actually have strength, to be able to like, I think I would. I think I'd do. I'd try it.
Yeah, but that would be out of your control. You wouldn't have it just for a minute. Then the urges would take over. Then you would want to hunt and kill and eat human flesh, and then you'd be gone. Then you'd be a werewolf completely.
That's where you broke us. That's where you broke us.
Flesh well.
Oh, I have this. It's Neil Marshall turned. I don't even know what he thought of us when we said this, but I am not very good when it comes to cannibalism. I get really, really weak at the knees at the thought of it. Yeah, Neil pulled exactly the same face you're pulling right now. So I don't think I could do it. Let's take it back. I want to hide.
Well, that leads me on to my next question. If you could play any character in history, fat, thin, short, alien, human, any character, is there one or two that you would love to go back and be able to play them?
I was hired once to play a Danish king, Harald Hardrada, in the movie 1066, but that movie has never been made.
No.
It's on your IMDb, isn't it?
It's never been made.
That's insane.
So
you'd like to see that one through?
It was kind of a cool character, because it's historically, it's a historical fact. I don't know if he was 7 feet tall or a giant. Apparently, he was larger than his army. But who knows? But this is the guy that was defeated by King Harold at the Battle of Stamford Bridge, and then King Harold had to go hot-footed with his army down to Hastings and defeat King William. Defeat William.
Oh my gosh, history lesson. Did not realize that was what's going to happen today. Well, I actually I have one, because I'm intrigued to know if you've mentioned what you would like to do that side. What about if you could play any universal monster? Any universal monster? Because that's what our podcast is.
It's got to be. It'll have to be Count Dracula, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In the steps of Bela.
Count Dracula's horrible. He's
Well,
really horrible.
we did that. We did an
I had
episode
a
on
I've for about 10 years I've been batting a script back and forth with a theatre director about a play, a Dracula play.
Oh.
And we got it to the point where we're both quite happy with it now, but I'm not sure if it's ever going to happen. Anyway, it's a very dark, disturbing, psychological sort of examination of Count Dracula.
Yes, please. So
Yep.
He
Yep.
is
We'll have
very,
tickets.
very horrible indeed.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the issue with the Universal monsters is because they have left such a legacy and they have become now these kind of fond, familiar, kind of like iconic figures. They're not given the credence I think they were written with anymore because Lugosi, the way he played Dracula, he was Dracula was a horrible I say person, but entity, whatever you want, vampire, man, person. At the heart of it, Larry the Lurker, the Wolfman.
The Wolfman.
He was a horrible human being.
He was.
Frankenstein is a monster. Frankenstein's monster has been put together by a man that is horrible. All of them root from this real kind of twisted sense of something, and I think all that gets pushed aside for the sake of entertainment, like the new big Universal Monsters epic universe. And I would have really liked to have seen where the Dark Universe would have pushed the monsters had they have really put some thought into it instead of doing the Mission Impossible Mummy film that they did.
Mission Impossible Mummy. It's with Tom Cruise. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. When did that? That was years ago, wasn't it?
That was terrible.
I didn't even see it.
No, me neither. I was all part of it.
Maybe 2018, 2019, maybe.
Oh, well, that was a lifetime ago. I was a lifetime ago. Well, I was thinking today. I was thinking, who would he actually pick? And I didn't think you would pick Dracula. I thought you might have gone something like the creature from the Black Lagoon. But that's because I'm so used to.
Is Dracula even a Universal monster?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he is. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. We in the first episode of season 2 last year, we did Bela's Dracula, and it was such a brilliant episode. Because he's such a fascinating person, such a sad life kind of career. For people thinking he had such a great career, it was actually quite sad in a way. He was very much taken advantage of in his film work, but he had such a passion and love for Dracula, like no other. But yeah, I thought I could, and I don't know if it's because I'm like your work is centered a lot around prosthetics and makeup. I was like, oh, he'd be a good creature. He'd be a really good creature from the Black Lagoon.
If you could work with any director, dead or alive, who would it be?
I don't know. I'll have to think. I have to go and look at my list. Hang on, let me look at my list. I really don't know.
I think it's
there were so many incredible directors out there. There are directors you've never even heard of who are absolutely incredible. I did a movie last year in Scotland with Craig Conway, and you may know Craig Conway as an actor, but he's absolutely the most incredible director.
Oh, Craig is lovely.
And not a day goes by when I try and tell someone how incredible a director he is.
You did when I saw you.
I actually told Neil Marshall that because Universal distributed Doomsday, that makes Craig a Universal monster. It makes Craig's character Soul a Universal monster. Yeah. So Neil was so pleased with that. So I'm going to say to you, you have now got the honorary title as Disney now owns Predator. You are technically a Disney princess. So We've interviewed a Universal
Yeah.
monster and a Disney princess now.
Do I get to wake up in the morning and have and get dressed with the help
The little
of
birdies.
forest creatures?
I'm sure we could arrange it. I'm sure we just have to train the animals first. That's
I love how Dan
My
gets
little
these little
forest
connections.
friends.
Yes, I love how Dan gets these little connections because Neil's face when she said that, he was like, he is, isn't he? Oh, bless. Well, we're coming up to our time. It's nearly time to end this, but it's been absolutely great having you on, Ian. Absolutely fantastic. Next week. What's next week? What is next week?
It's Jack Pierce.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yes, next week we are looking into the life and work of the legendary Jack Pierce. We have mentioned his techniques, hot gluing fur to actors' faces, but we're really going to get into the in-depth the in-depth way that Jack Pierce did his makeup, because there's a reason he's a legend, and we're gonna find that out all next week. So this has been Ian Whyte. Next week is Jack Pierce. Thank you so much for giving up your time tonight, Ian, to come and join us.
My absolute pleasure to talk to you again.
Absolutely lovely. Where am I? The socials. The links for Bleeding Marvellous, Nerdy Up North, Monsters Up North. Where are they, Dan?
They are down there somewhere.
This episode goes up on Monday at 8 a.m. on the Nerdy Up North YouTube channel. The audio for it goes up later on that day, whenever I can be bothered to get it up.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. And I've done the socials, and I've done next week, and I've done it all backwards because, you know, it's a weird day. We're not even recording on our normal day. So yeah, if there's nothing else left to say goodbye, Dan.
Bye, Dan.
Say goodbye, Ian.
Hi, Ian.
Goodbye, Ian.
Stay spooky, everyone. Bye.